Hi Capricorn, welcome to your end of July 2020 General Tarot Update. It's Rena here. Let's see. Anyone involved with the Sagittarian? Wow, a lot of indecision here. I hope this card does it for me. Let me see. I'm going to pick this one. Okay. Alrighty then. Let me just look at this for a second. The heart of the matter is the Two of Wands. And this is a card of maybe being at a crossroads in your life, your career, and deciding, what you should do with that area. And I keep mentioning there's another person's hand on one of the wands. So perhaps the decision isn't just one you can just make selfishly. You have to think of somebody else, like a child, children, or a spouse. Perhaps there's this is a love situation where you're deciding between two people. And it's funny because the star card that I have in the challenge position is Aquarius, and the Three of Swords can be, the swords can be Aquarius. I don't know if it's a Sag, between a Sag and an Aquarius person. By the way, if a Capricorn is deciding between a Sag and Aquarius, both of these people may be incompatible with you. And that's just a completely broad thing I'm saying because I'm talking about what each sign represents. You may be attracted to these kinds of people, but these are more like free-spirited types of people. And that might be your bone of contention, that you can't get them to settle down. But let's look at it beyond the relationship issue. The past position, the Temperance card, water, land, spirit, and material matters. You're an earth sign, so you're more on land. You're more of that, if you want to talk about trying to balance things. You're more somebody that is very acclimated with the material. And the spiritual side of life, or the creative side, or the side that doesn't involve material concerns, might be the area that you haven't explored as much. And the reason this comes into play is that at a certain point, even a very ambitious Capricorn person may get to a juncture where they have done all that they can do in a certain area, or maybe they're kind of disgusted in some cases by what has happened in their industry, and they don't like the practices. I mean, this happens all the time. It can run the gamut from media to healthcare, anything like that. And you say, it used to be a lot better, banking, but I don't like what I'm being forced to do. It doesn't sit well with me. And plus, you may, or even teaching, that's a profession that has undergone a lot of changes. And that can create dissatisfaction where the thing that you were attracted to suddenly becomes undesirable. And it can be confusing because you know that you do love what it stands for, but not what it has become. But I feel ultimately that the Two of Wands, the dilemma that is in play, has more to do with your freedom, your sense of expansion, and maybe autonomy, where it's like you're tired of doing what other people are telling you to do. And this may be because you're a cardinal sign, Capricorn, but I feel like Capricorns are pretty obedient, that they want to, because of your ambition, you're willing to allow yourself to be in a subordinate position if it means that you will rise in rank. But there are times in one's life that even that is no longer enough. Another thing that this could represent is whether or not to relocate. And I don't know how the Temperance card would play into that. Maybe it's a timing card, because if it's associated with Sagittarius, the last Sag transit that I can think of, major Sag transit, is the lunar eclipse back in June, and that would be your 12th house. So that may have freed you from some karmic bonds that have kept you in one place, maybe feeling a sense of duty to another person. I don't know who it could be, a parent, a child, if the child is already an adult. And you may, I mentioned this before, that Capricorns grow younger as they grow older, and when they have already satisfied their ambition, they can let their hair down a little bit. And maybe, if you're kind of at the retirement stage, or maybe you've already retired and your children want you to play grandma or grandpa, you're like, oh, that's nice, but I don't want to do that full time. I want to have my own life finally. So it could be one of those things. Maybe you want to move far away, and that means that you won't be able to see your grown children or grandchildren, and that bothers you. But by the same token, you feel that strong pull to, towards expansion. The higher message is the Three of Swords. Now, this card can relate to feeling a sense of rejection and heartbreak. And the only thing that I could see related to that is if you're dealing with a three-party situation. Yeah, I should have said that. This can be like a lover's triangle. And how that relates to your particular dilemma is that you may be involved with two people, but you may not be in love with two people. One of those people, if it's a current partner, you may feel this sense of duty towards, but you know that the love is gone. Maybe it's been gone for a long time, and you just feel like it's over. So you don't see the need to keep going in that relationship, and yet there it is. The Three of Swords can be about making a clean break and not, dragging something on long after it should be put to rest. And so perhaps that's what you really need to do, even if it's hard to imagine doing it. It might seem like it's cruel, or it's just impossible in some other way. Maybe because you do have good experiences or memories with this person. And so you think to yourself, but it wasn't all bad. But even if that's the case, it doesn't mean that it's good now. What crosses you is a Star card. This is faith in unseen forces. Being able to, that's what faith is, step out in faith and know that the universe has your back. You may be unsure about that, and it's creating this sense of apprehension within you, which is normal. And yet, there's something exhilarating about making a major change and not having any guarantees, because it's almost like daring the universe to show its support of you. And that can be something that is very you might be scared to do that, but by the same token, like I said, with the wands, we're talking about freedom. And another thing to note is that Uranus is in your 9th house in Taurus. I'm sorry, it's in your 5th house in Taurus. And the thing about Uranus, it's like it loves adventure, it loves freedom. And if this is a situation with love, Uranus can even make you can even bring in somebody who is an Aquarius into your life, or maybe that is the person, the star card, but it's not working out so well. But the point is that this person can still teach you something, even if you end up not being with them, because when you have Uranus in the 5th house, 5th house can be your own business. And you may be attracted to that because of the freedom that it provides. You may be up to here with answering to somebody else. Again, I do think that even though Capricorn is a cardinal sign, they are capable of towing the line and doing what is asked of them, as long as there is the promise of promotion and, career growth. Maybe that has kind of come to its the highest, the highest amount, its apex, if you will, its zenith, and there's nowhere else to go. Or you just can read the writing on the wall that there's something about the company, the industry, that is on its way down, and you can tell that there's not a future there. And so you're looking in a different direction, but it feels a little bit scary. So again, what's coming in is the Two of Swords. This also can be advice given to you, which I would say is, you have to remove the blindfold, see things as they really are. If you feel like there's this choice that you have to make, it might be that you're creating the illusion that there's a choice. Maybe there's not really a choice as much as you claim there is. And by the way, if this is a lover's triangle, you may not be with involved with two different people. Maybe your partner is, and you're entertaining the idea of whether or not you want to stay in this relationship, and you're deliberating about it like it's some really confusing thing, when really you're just in denial over it. And if you really embrace the truth of that situation, it wouldn't be that hard to figure out what to do, because it would be quite clear that it's not a good situation and that you need to get away from it. But it's just very difficult at the moment. And even if you're deciding between two jobs, maybe a job offer, that one is far away and one is, familiar territory, make the decision realistically, not idealistically or fear-based. In other words, not the two extremes. And then we have the outcome card, and we have the the Three of Pentacles. Yes, I can count. And this is really a good money card, a card for material abundance, but also this is the Architect's card. So it's really talking about somebody who is trying to build a life for themselves that is very stable. And what I'm getting at is that you may have been experiencing, and even like, if you have your own business, that may have been rather unstable with Uranus there. And perhaps you're looking for a day job after having some unpredictable business issues. So it might be the exact reverse of what I'm saying. But the point is that you specialize in this area of life, Capricorn. You're capable of creating a life for yourself that works for you, that is something that you can grow with as life progresses. You know, the number 3 is a number of abundance and growth, and with Pentacles we're talking about practical affairs. But even with love, this is something that the main focus is somebody that you're with, that you can feel a sense of stability and yet growth potential. Because a safe bet, you know, a person who just seems like really a good provider, you know, all the typical things that you might be attracted to. If you don't have that spark, that's not going to work either. So you have to have a balance between the two. Okay, that's what I have for you, Capricorn. I hope that you enjoyed this. If you'd like a personal reading, the link is below. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.